Welcome, one and all, to the regular season finale of Who You Got. I'm joined by Conwell Morris and Emmett Kliger to preview the Commonwealth Clash.
The Commonwealth Clash is on November 29th here in Charlottesville at Scott Stadium, but there's a lot of games this weekend. We're filming this before Thanksgiving break, which have implications for the impact of the Commonwealth Clash. Obviously, it's Virginia's biggest game of the year every year. We've lost 23 of the last 25 matchups against Virginia Tech. We're having a good season. It'd be great to take one home. At the same time, there's a few ACC teams playing this weekend where if they win, depending on strength of schedule, records, cross opponents, we still may not make it to Charlotte.
Quick update now after the Week 13 games. So at this point, Virginia does in fact control their destiny. Pitt took down Georgia Tech, SMU cruised by Louisville, so that whittles it down to 3 teams at the top of the ACC with 1 conference loss. There are what seem like an unlimited number of ways the top of the ACC can shake out, with Duke, Miami, and Georgia Tech still alive with 2 conference losses. But to save you the headache, the simplest way of thinking about it is that Virginia is win and in. Beat Tech, and the Who's will be in Charlotte.
Yeah, for a season so great for the Cavaliers this year, last year, Tony Elliott, there are op-eds coming out saying that he should have been fired, and now you're 9-2, you have a star quarterback, you have star running backs, you have star power all over.
Virginia Tech is a little bit big brother to the Who's. Virginia's only won one single time in our lifespan, and that was in 2019 behind Bryce Perkins. And this year is definitely the best year for Virginia since that 2019 season. So, if they're going to have a shot to win, it's going to be this year. Tech does have some momentum. They are on the upswing due to the hiring of James Franklin. Obviously, he is not going to be on the sideline for this game. But, Emmett, how do you see this game shaping out? Who's a player to watch for you?
Well, I think the player to watch for Virginia Tech is their quarterback, Kyron Drones, especially for UVA when they've gone against dual-threat quarterbacks. Their success hasn't been too high. Obviously, they lost to Wake Forest and NC State, both dual-threat quarterbacks there. And so when you have your second leading rusher for Virginia Tech being the quarterback, that's something that you're definitely going to have to game plan for if you're the Virginia defensive coordinator.
How about you, Conwell?
Yeah, it's an obvious one, but I think Chandler Morris is still my key for Virginia. It's going to be his second game back off of the injury. He played well against Duke. He did throw 2 interceptions. Obviously, it didn't matter. They won by 17. But I think that UVA needs to really take care of their possessions. Virginia Tech is just a different opponent. UVA has found some interesting ways to lose to Virginia Tech in the past. I remember watching a game where in overtime, UVA fumbled the ball through the back of the end zone as they were about to score.
Classic.
And then Virginia Tech stormed down the field and won. My grandfather almost punched the TV. But that's the kind of stuff that can happen when you play Virginia Tech. We need to take care of our possessions. We need to score in the red zone. It was something that we really struggled with against Wake Forest. We went to the red zone 4 times, scored 3. All of them were field goals and still lost the game. So we need to have a high-scoring game. Virginia Tech's been held to 20 or fewer points 5 times this season. Our defense can contain them, I think, although the dual-threat quarterback makes it difficult. But if Chandler Morris can find his spots and connect with receivers, particularly Trell Harris after 160 yards against Duke, I think we'll be in good shape.
I agree. I think it's a dogfight. When you're in a real rivalry game like this, when Tech has had Virginia's number for a number of years, it's a dogfight, even if Virginia on paper has been the far better squad this year. So in those types of games, I think it does come down to the quarterbacks. How can you lead your squad? How can you just will your team to victory?
I think another factor to keep in mind is this game will be played over Thanksgiving break, and there have been times at Scott Stadium where the Who's fans have been coming loud into the game.
That's a great point.
And so Virginia Tech fans will be coming. It's not that long of a drive from Blacksburg. And so that advantage that has really been something new for Virginia football, that hasn't really been the case, is something that's going to not necessarily be there for them on that Saturday.
Yeah, I totally agree. I'm going to be there. Hopefully you'll be
I'll
there.
be there.
We're trying to get Callum to get there. I think some fans will be there, but it might be an older crowd. And while we love our older Who fans, it's just a different environment than when you've got 16,000 idiots yelling and screaming. So I hope some students make the trip. I think it does make a difference. And, thank God we're not playing in Blacksburg because that's a tough environment.
As we said, it's different when it's a rivalry game. All bets are off, but For you, Emmett, what's the key to a Virginia victory?
I have two keys. One, protect Chandler Morris. If he goes down like he did in the Wake Forest game, it's going to be a tough road to beat Virginia Tech. And secondly, you can't play down to your opponent. It is a rivalry game. It's easy to get caught up in the big emotion, one of the best seasons in Virginia football history. And you have to sort of carry yourself with that swagger. You have to carry yourself as the team. You're not little brother anymore, hopefully. And so you can't play down to a Virginia Tech team that has won only 3 games as of right now.
Another key for me is play calling. I thought against Wake Forest when we were deep in the red zone, some of the play calling from Coach Elliott and coordinator Kitchings were just reinventing the wheel. I think we just hand the ball to Jamari Taylor early and often. He of course had an unfortunate fumble late in the game against Wake Forest that sort of sealed the victory for the Demon Deacons, but he played really well that game. He breaks off big runs, and I think if our offensive line can set some good blocks and get him down the field, it takes the pressure off Chandler. It opens up passes in the middle and down the field. So I want to see Jamari Taylor get the ball early and often, as I said. Big game against Duke. I think he's ready to follow it up. He's, a power 4 running back, and we're just happy to have him.
I agree with what you're saying, but I think in the Duke game, Coach Kitchings did scheme some guys open through the passing game really well. Some nice plays through the air from Morris, too. I think Sage Ennis had a touchdown in that game where basically Kitchings schemed him open, and it was a great play. So I hear what you're saying, but I think they did take the Wake Forest loss in stride and did apply, getting Morris back, opening up the playbook a little bit. I think they did adapt well enough for the Duke game.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, they're clearly talented play callers. They've done really well this season. I just don't want in a big game for them to try to get cute and change up what's worked all season.
I think the problem in the Wake Forest game was they lost all confidence. Chandler Morris was out, and they felt, like you said, they had to reinvent the wheel with Danny Kalin under center. I think you run the risk of kind of going through that same process again in a big rivalry game where you feel like you need to get too cute and blow the doors off of them. We have to stay true to what this offense has been all season. That means Jamari Taylor. That means quick intermediate routes, Trell Harris, Jamal Edrin, Cam Ross. Because when they're clicking, when they're humming, this offense is playing with gas.
Yeah, I mean, it's a big game, but it's not a game that's too big for us. I think our team's prepared, and stuff changes when it's the Commonwealth Classic, but at the same time, personnel for personnel, like, we can beat the Hokies. Like, we have better players at almost every position. I think we've got great coaches. So it just comes down to execution, and I think that if the game plan is clear, the players understand it, and we execute on November 29th, it's going to be a happy time in Charlottesville.
Okay, guys, it's time for the most important part of the video for the last time in the regular season. Emmett, you go first. Who you got?
It's been an honor giving you my picks this semester. I'm going to say UVA 24-21. I think the Cardiac Cavs, Heart Attack Who's will be playing football, but I think they pull it out. I think they win, and I think they go to the ACC championship.
Conwell?
Yeah, I agree with the take. I'm taking Virginia, but 31-20. I think it'll be strange in the early going. There's going to be some hiccups. We're not going to put 45 on them, but at the same time, I think our defense contains them. I think Kyron Drones will have a decent game, but we'll put pressure on him. I think Chandler Morris is finding his receivers. Trell Harris had a breakout game. I like Jamari Taylor in these environments. So I'm excited. I hope the cards fall in our favor this weekend so we can make the ACC championship. But as far as the Commonwealth Classic, I'm taking Virginia.
And I'm going to be taking the Who's as well. I think, like you said, Conwell, this is a defensive team, really, primarily. They are the engine, they are the backbone, and I think they're going to stymie Kyron Drones enough for this offense to have some breathing room and come home with a pretty calm, easy win. I'm going to take Virginia 30-20. And this has been the last week of the regular season of Who You Got. I'm Callum Bohn.
I'm Conwell Morris.
I'm Emmett Kliger, WUVA.